We're hearing all about turnover now that we're living through the great reshuffling. Millions and millions of people are leaving their jobs to find more fulfilling opportunities.
I don't think I can work here any longer.
Not only does turnover cost you your employees, but it's also outrageously expensive and incredibly harmful to the trust and confidence within your organization. Turnover rate reflects the number of employees who have left, and it demonstrates the overall health and stability of your organization. Honestly, it's one of the most important HR KPIs. My name is Kylie, and the world of HR moves fast. That's why here at Factorial, we offer HR shorts to keep you up to date. In today's HR short, we'll talk about how to measure turnover rate, what your company needs to look out for, and some vital steps to reduce turnover. But first, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any HR tips. So there's some math involved, but don't worry if you're not big on numbers, it's pretty straightforward. To get an accurate turnover rate, first consider if you want to calculate it by department, position, or the entire organization. Maybe you have a department that seems to always have vacancies to fill. That could be a good place to start. By the way, you can use our HR KPI template linked in the description below to keep track of your turnover rate in your organization. Now, get out your calculator. First, you'll want to divide the number of employee separations by the average number of employees during that time period. Then multiply by 100 to get your percentage. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, there's one other key consideration. You may want to calculate involuntary turnover or voluntary turnover. As the name suggests, voluntary turnover includes those who left voluntarily. Involuntary turnover includes those who were unfortunately terminated. Let's say XYZ Tech wants to calculate their turnover for the entire organization for last year. And XYZ Tech had 25 employee separations last year. And in that number, we're including involuntary and voluntary to get a broad view, and an employee average of 205 during that year. 25 divided by 205 is 0.1219. Multiply that by 100 and you get 12.19%. So what does that mean for XYZ Tech? To give you a general idea, a company should aim for a turnover rate of 10% or less. But that's not all. We should also compare it to the industry average to see where they stand. As you can see, the tech industry's rate of 20.9% is much higher. That's a good thing for XYZ Tech because the lower the rate, the better. But they shouldn't be celebrating too soon. Industry benchmarks are very useful, but every company is different. Maybe the majority of turnover at XYZ Tech is voluntary, which can be a cause for concern. Generally speaking, 60 to 70% of turnover is voluntary.
As God is my witness, I will quit.
So let's dive deeper into what organizations should be paying attention to when looking at their turnover rate. For starters, ask yourself who is leaving and when. Then ask yourself, why are they leaving? Maybe there was a spike in employee separations at some point during the year. Look into any significant changes like team restructuring that could have had a big impact. If that's the case, it could suggest a need for better communication. Or maybe new employees are leaving within the first few months of their employment. This can be incredibly harmful as SHRM estimates an average cost per hire cost about $4,129. Not only is it costly, but it could also be related to things like weak onboarding processes, poor candidate sourcing, or misleading job descriptions. In that case, calculate your new hire turnover rate, which refers to the number of employees who leave within their first year. Try not to be overwhelmed by a high new hire turnover rate because it has been shown that 20% of new employees leave within their first 45 days of employment. Next, find out who is leaving. Is top talent heading for the door? This could be a sign of a lack of employee development opportunities or poor management. On the other hand, you might be seeing turnover in disengaged employees. Remember, employee engagement directly affects the health of an organization. Although turnover rate in any regard is not great, having disengaged employees can do more harm than good. Finally, the why. And the best way to uncover the root causes of turnover is by taking advantage of the knowledge of those departing employees. Conduct exit interviews with those engaged employees who are leaving the company voluntarily. Use the information to your advantage and make a plan moving forward to address those issues that you found. Better yet, incorporate stay interviews to really round out the employee feedback process. So we've discussed the best way to calculate turnover rate and what companies should be doing afterward. Now you'll want to, or better yet, need to, pinpoint ways to lower turnover rate. Are you offering competitive salaries? In an industry like tech, for example, unpredictable. There's so much competition. So aspects like compensation need to be a top priority. But we understand that's not always possible. If you can't offer competitive salaries, make sure you're offering things like room for growth or other factors that talent will value. Speaking of growth, no one likes to feel stuck in their professional career. If your team feels like they can't use their skills or talent to grow within the company, they might start looking elsewhere. Feeling discouraged can lead to a lack of motivation and indifference.
I don't want to work. I just want to bang on this mug all day.
Did you ask me here for any specific reason?
Explore how your company can increase growth opportunities for hardworking, talented team members. Then consider management. Talent is often lost due to ineffective leadership. Not only does it create turnover issues, it can also damage the overall health of your organization. Look out for micromanagement, unconstructive communication, or bad planning.
I am going to have to fix you, manage you on a more personal scale. A more micro form of management. Jim, what is that called?
Microagement?
Boom.
Start to solve this by holding manager trainings to boost confidence and to promote clarity. Next up, how is your recruitment process? It takes more than just picking the right CV. The cost of a bad hire can be overwhelming, so ensure that they are in line with the organization and the position. Also, think about the questions that you're asking and adjust them as necessary. Are they really helping you determine whether or not candidates are in line with the company's mission and goals?
How far away is the sun?
93 million miles.
Is it?
Yeah.
Last but not least, pay attention to the work environment. Is it healthy? It may not be as good as you imagined. A hostile or toxic workplace can lead to employee departures. Create an inclusive environment by gaining insight into what your team wants and needs. As an HR team, turnover rate should be on your radar. If you're not paying close attention to these factors, that turnover rate can start creeping up. There's so much more to it than just a number. Your team and entire organization will notice benefits like increased productivity and high company morale. Better yet, people in your organization will not only stay, but they'll be happy and proud to work there. Have any questions about calculating turnover or how to lower it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our free HR KPI template in the description. My name is Kylie, and thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if this was useful. And see you in the next HR Short. Hit that subscribe button. Oh my God.